The British Institute was founded in 1984, and we've helped thousands of people develop their English language skills. Using communicative, student-centered, and task-based approach, our academic team ensures that our delivery methods are up to date. Our public class students undergo a variety of courses such as very young learners, pre-teenagers, teenagers, general English, business communication, conversation, writing, and many more. Naturally, the lessons are accompanied with various fun activities. In the last few years, English has become essential for business. Our corporate training is here to provide the necessary English language coaching for companies or institutions that want to increase their competitive value. The demand to pursue a degree abroad increases year by year. Our exam preparation class will help you achieve your desired score and teach you strategies to face your chosen international exam. As the only authorized CELTA center in Indonesia, TBI is an extension of University of Cambridge English. CELTA is the world's leading teacher training qualification. We also provide teacher training programs for teachers or for those who wish to teach. Established more than 35 years ago and has branches in many major cities in Indonesia. Recognized by the University of Cambridge English as the only CELTA center in Indonesia. Our teachers have international certifications and are experienced. Follows international standards of teaching and assessment methods. Has taught more than 50,000 people and in more than 1,000 companies. We've helped them compete in the marketplace. When's your turn?
Well, good afternoon, Bapak Ibu semua. So it's an honor to me and welcome again to another event of Kelas Kreatif Indonesia. But in this time, we also have a collaborations with the UTC TBI. So it's an honor for me, Tisnadi Syarijal, to lead you to this amazing event. Before I continue, I would like to make sure that, am I clearly audible to everyone?
Yes, Patrice.
Yes, thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you very much. Then, ladies and gentlemen, so I would like to welcome to all the speakers. In today's event, we have three amazing speakers, and then I believe that everybody here who joining this Kaka event already be much familiar with those three amazing speaker that we have. One of them is one of them my best friend. Yeah, one of them is my teachers, and yeah, it's very honored to finally have in one room with these amazing, super duper cool speakers. All right, so welcome to Ibu Oke from UTC TBI. Also welcome to Ibu Yuli from SBA Abayapari, and also welcome to Pak Dadan. This is the father of all from Kelas Kreatif Indonesia and also from Kakak Edu Lead, and also one of the management teams, Ibu Isri, and also of course all management and all teachers, lecturers, researchers, academia, and all people who join with us in this amazing event, building an English-speaking culture in class, Saturday, 26 February. And it's amazing day, yeah, Bapak Ibu, yeah. I hope that everybody here in the very, very good condition. There are several things that I would like to share before we get started. I believe that everybody here, beside want to have an amazing knowledge from the three speakers, and you also have a benefits, three amazing benefits from the UTC TBI. First benefit, it's a TOEFL ITV vouchers worth for 50,000 Indonesian rupiahs and discount for Cambridge TKT test as much as 100,000, valid until July 2022. And of course, and the third one is July GIT vouchers, right? So this is another benefit that everybody can get, okay, after you following this amazing webinar. And then before that, is that it? No, we also have another souvenir that been provided by Kelas Kreatif Indonesia and also provided by UTC TBI. BI. Before I continue to another topic that we have to discuss, I have a very important announcement. I believe that later on, when the speakers already started talking, some of you wish to deliver questions, and please drop your questions in the link that will be provided in the chat box. You can drop your question in the Padlets. So there will be link in the Padlet, there will be a link in the Zoom chat, and that link you can ask questions there. So make sure that you will not able to write down your questions in the chat box. So please put your questions in the Padlet link that already been provided by Class Creative Indonesia. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the opening is there. Yeah. So I believe that everybody here already can wait to listen on how we can build an English speaking culture. We believe that some of us in our school have an issue in providing a positive vibe in making our students able to and very comfortable to speak English in the classrooms. But before go on that, I would like to invite one of the amazing management of Class Creative has to introduce you who is Class Creative Indonesia, what we've been doing, and what we're going to do later on in the upcoming event. So for that activity, I would like to invite my fellow friends, sisters, and also fighters. Yeah. So I would like to welcome my amazing sister, Ibu atau Teteh Istri Laila Shatra. The microphone is yours, Teh.
Thank you, brother Kakang Trisnendi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to see you all in this webinar. But before we listen to several interesting talks from the three presenters, allow me to introduce the profile of Komunitas Pendidik Kelas Kreatif Indonesia. Komunitas Pendidik Kelas Kreatif Indonesia is a personal learning community which consists of teachers, lecturers, and some education enthusiasts. And then it was built in 2008 under the name Education Development Project. And later on in 2018, it changed its name into Kelas Kreatif. Yeah, and then last 2 years, we got a brand new name, Komunitas Pendidik Kelas Kreatif Indonesia. And then like some other communities, we also have vision and mission. And one of our visions is providing an informal, collaborative-based professional development community for educators to share, to discuss, to learn, and then to grow together. And then it is hoped that all individuals involved can become long life learners who reflect on their respective teaching practices, and then conduct the research about the theories, strategies, and learning methods that are creative, innovative, and also interactive. And then finally, all the individuals can implement them in the classroom, and also they can produce, finally, an inspiring class for the students. And then here are our leadership and management team. Yeah, many of us, and then it consists of teachers, lecturers, and also education enthusiasts from all over Indonesia. And then we also have some upcoming events in March, such as TBI and Class Creative, and then English Club virtual meetup, storytelling, mengajar dengan hati, public speaking for educators, micro writing project, and also micro blogging, and also articles. Yeah, I think that's all the introduction about our community. Thank you so much, and then I will return back the microphone to the moderator, my brother Trisnendi Syahrijal.
Thank you very much. It's kind of weird to call the brother and sisters, yeah? But anyway, thank you very much for that brief yet detailed explanations about Kelas Kreatif Indonesia. And of course, some of us here in the event are already taking part in this community, and we're still ready to spread the knowledge and growth together. So I think without further ado, we have moving on to our first speakers. then I think he, the only he, as the speakers of the day, I believe that everybody already know, and probably everybody waiting to listen his voice again, all right, and talking about various things. And for today, Pak Dadan will talk. All right, so welcome Pak Dadan. Hi Pak.
Hello, hello. Hello,
Good Pak.
Padres.
How are you today, Pak?
Good, I'm fine.
Good, thank you very
Excited.
much.
Yeah.
Sure, I can't wait to have another talk with you. So as we all know that Pak Dadan is the founder of Kelas Kreatif, Komunitas Pendidik Kelas Kreatif Indonesia, and also Kakak Edu Lead. And in today's topic, he gonna talk us about personal learning network. So this is going to be amazing talk, and something that very interesting, the speaker hasn't started the talk, but the question is already in the Padlets. So that was an amazing thing. Yeah, so this is the big enthusiast that we have from our participants here. So Pak Dadan, without further ado, the microphone is yours, Pak.
Okay, thank you very much, Patris. Maybe I'm going to speak a bit slower, yeah, today. Can you see the screen now, Patris? I have shared my screen.
Yes, it's
Okay.
visible.
Thank you very much. So, Bapak Ibu, my topic might be is not really like relevant with our discussion today about building English speaking culture in class, which basically I'm addressing the topic about connecting educators. I'm giving more information or more discussion actually relating to what has been presented by Ibu Isri. Yeah. So the topic is about Kelas Kreatif English Club, connecting educators. And Kelas Kreatif actually is a personal learning network or a personal learning community. So the definition of personal learning network, you can see here, I will read it for you, is a group of colleagues, mentors, and professionals that you connect with to enhance your learning and take charge of your own professional development. It's a global online community that allows you to tap into a broad wealth of knowledge and focus on what you consider most important to your learning. PLNs are especially valuable as new information and ideas are changing the world at as sorry, a much faster pace than ever before. I'm sorry with my reading. Yeah, I don't like to read actually. I just like speak directly. So basically, that's the idea of personal learning network. So the question here is, so what is the difference between professional learning network or professional learning community and personal learning network or personal learning community? So basically, in the personal learning network, I think it is more you the person who decide to join the community, different with the other professional learning community. We have like the group of lectures, build the community, for example, or you have MGMP, that's professional learning community. There are some structures, some membership, etc. But in relating to the personal learning network or personal learning community, you are the person who have the decision to join or to leave the community. If you think it is beneficial for you, so you can stay and join the community. And then I will continue, yeah. So in Kelas Kreatif Indonesia or in English Kelas Kreatif Indonesia, we don't have membership system, Bapak Ibu. What we have is learning partners because we are equal. Whether you are like fresh graduate, whether you are like the professor, whether you are like having a doctoral title, we are on the same page. We are learning, like we are learning again. That's the idea. Yeah, we are learning again. And then we are like sharing information, sharing knowledge from one person to another. So if in the past knowledge is like really like what you call it, yeah, knowledge is like some people really keep the knowledge for themselves because they think the knowledge is the door to the other opportunity. But in Kelas Kreatif, we really we really share the knowledge, so everyone will have the same opportunity. Yeah, so there is no PNS, there is no like private teacher. Everyone will have the same opportunity for professional development. So the learning partners in Kelas Kreatif, as mentioned by Ibu Isri, are teachers, lecturers, tutors, university students, and Ministry of Education staff. So we are like gathered together in WhatsApp group, yeah. And currently we have Kelas Kreatif English Club Group 1 until Kelas Kreatif English Club Group 9. And then we are coming from all over Indonesia, from Aceh until Papua, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully on each province, we have one representative from the learning partners. And the question is, what are the benefits of personal learning network? So these are the benefits of personal learning networks. You will have the opportunities to directly improve teaching and learning, because every day we learn something, even though like looks small, but we will like stick like all the time with learning strategies or with technology. Yeah. And then the second one is build networking. I think this is the opportunity also for you to like collaborate with others in doing the research or writing project, or opportunities to lead the workshops like what we have today. Ibu Yuli, Ibu Oke, Ibu Isri, and Pak Trisnendri also part of the learning partners in Kelas Kreatif Indonesia, and we take turn. Yeah, so every time we have the webinar, of course we will offer to all of you to take the opportunities leading the workshop. And then for some reasons, I think some people already mentioned that, oh, Pak Dadan, it's very difficult. I'm doing the research, but it's very difficult to get the respondents for my thesis, for my dissertation, for my skripsi. And I believe in Kelas Kreatif, we support each other. So Bapak Ibu, don't worry about that. If you are now doing the research, you just contact me, and then we will try to communicate your research to the other educators in Kelas Kreatif, and hopefully they are happy to be your respondents. And then keep updated with new research and emerging technology tools for teaching, and then reflect on ideas, because for some reasons also, many people, including me, we are in the comfort zone. So we think that we have done our best for our students, for our, you know, for our students. But in fact, we need another insight from others, whether from the new information or whether from other colleagues. Yeah. Is our teaching already good, or our teaching need improvement? And of course, the last one is to develop lifelong learning. Okay, learning is not only finish until you graduate, right? So we will keep learning with discussing new materials, discussing new technology for the benefit of our students. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, what do we do in a personal learning network? As I mentioned to you before, that the main idea is collaboration. And the next one is share ideas, resources, and learning materials with other educators. As Ibu Isri said, that the Kelas Kreatif Indonesia was built in 2008. So it's actually, let's say it is like old community actually, yeah. So, and how we connect to each other. So we will stay, you have the choice to stay or leave, yeah. We will stay in the WhatsApp group. So you are like stay in WhatsApp group 1 or stay in WhatsApp group 2, etc., etc. And then we will share resources, ideas, and then learning materials, etc. And then we will have also several webinars, professional development opportunities for you. You can join, whether with the can I say like local speakers, Indonesian speakers, and native speakers. So it's a combination. That's the idea. And you have, of course, the opportunity also to lead to lead the webinars, yeah, in one of our online sessions. And then for the nearest one, after today, we are going to have the Kelas Kreatif English Club virtual meetups, I think next Friday. This is not like really formal meeting. We just like meet each other and discuss about education, about life in general, and the most important one is to know each other. This is my most favorite quotes so far relating to what I have done in Kelas Kreatif, from Peter Seng. Correct me if I'm wrong how to say his name. Sharing knowledge is not about giving people something or getting something from them. That is only valid for information sharing. Sharing knowledge occurs when people are genuinely interested in helping one another develop new capacities for action. It is about creating learning processes. So by that quotes, I hope you enjoy uh, the webinar today. And good luck to Ibu Oke and Ibu Yuli. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. All right, so the point of personal learning community is growth together, develop together, and learn together, right? But so it's not about taking a membership of something, but it's about how we can share and how we can grow as a community altogether. So thank you very much, Padadan. Amazing as usual. There was very interesting talk that we have. And the next topic that we're gonna have are going to be delivered by also one of my friends. All right. I don't know what should I call her now? But then because this is a very interesting meeting, so let me call Ibu Yuliani. Hi, Ibu.
Hello, Pak Tris.
So how are you?
Yeah, good.
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 So can wait to share? Yeah, can wait to share, yeah?
Yes, of course.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, before Ibu Yuli start the talk, please allow me to introduce her a bit to you. So she's both an assistant professor in the English department and vice dean of academic affairs at Sekolah Tinggi Bahasa Asing Yapari Aba Bandung, West Java, Indonesia. She teaches semantics, pragmatics, and social linguistic classes, earning her doctoral degree in linguistics in 2016 from Pajajaran University. Her research interests, including pragmatics, social linguistics, social pragmatics, CMC, call and mall. This is mall BIP or no?
No,
So it's a different,
it's
different
mobile
mall, yeah?
assisted language learning, actually.
Yeah, so it's a mobile assisted language learning. And another thing, see, in the outside of the academic field, she also a freelance copywriter, content creator, podcaster, and broadcaster at Savaro Radio and Bhakti Podcast. Right, so, or yeah, copywriter, creator, podcaster, what an amazing things that we're gonna have. So I think that everybody can wait to listen to your talk today. So the microphone is yours.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Om Tris. I don't know
Yes,
what I should call you. You know,
yeah,
maybe
we
should
usually
be
call
formal
Wan.
in this webinar. Yeah, we should be
I see.
formal. But outside this webinar, we can talk anything we like to.
Anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, very
All right.
interesting.
Thank you, Pak Tris. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and happy Saturday, Ibu dan Bapak. So today I'm both going to share a presentation as well as ask you for discussions because I'm not going to work here by myself, okay? I'm going to involve you and I'm going to share screen right now. Okay, as you can see, this is the screen. You now can see the screen, but before I start, I really like to ask for your participation. So that's why I have several statements, and if the statements apply to you, please do raise your hands. Yeah, I'm going to open the windows of participants here while I also share the screen. Okay. All right. So, Ibu dan Bapak, before we begin, raise your hand if first you mostly use Indonesian in English class because you're afraid your students don't understand. Do raise your hands. Okay.
It's so tricky question, isn't it?
Yes, tricky questions actually, but we sometimes use Indonesian even though it's only 20% of the lesson, right, Pak Tris?
Agreed.
Okay. Okay, 21% and it's still coming up. Okay. Wow. Whoa, okay. Well, we've reached 33% raising hands. Okay. Well, actually, I also still use Indonesian mostly, especially when the class can't speak English like fluently. Yeah, especially when I teach at college. So when they're still on the first semester, usually they can't speak English really well and they can't still understand English really well. Okay. All right. And if you have raised your hands, you may stay raising your hands, or you can lower your hands if the second statement doesn't apply to you. Okay. Second statement, Raise your hand if you tend to code switch or translate after you use English to ensure students understand. So after you give instructions, after you give explanation, you translate the explanation or instructions into Indonesian.
So I'm gonna raise my hand for this.
Yes, I raise my hand manually. I mean, I do this a lot as well, you know, and I don't know whether it's a mistake, but I believe this is, as long as it's still applicable to our students, then that's fine,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah, agreed on that.
65 raising hands, 66, okay. So keep raising hands if the third statement applies to you as well, okay? Raise your hand if you let students use Indonesian when they speak or reply to you. Okay, we've still got 60, 70%. Okay. Okay. So keep raising your hand for the fourth statement if the fourth statement applies to you. Raise your hand if you encourage students to use English, but you still speak Indonesian most of the time. Okay. Almost everyone lower their hands. Good. So you set a good example, right? You encourage students to speak English and you also speak English. That's good. Wow, brilliant, bravo. Okay. All right. Ibu dan Bapak, for the last statement, raise your hand if you correct your students immediately when they make mistakes while speaking English. Okay. The hands keep raising again. All right. Okay. All right, so the fourth and fifth statements don't mostly apply to you, yeah? Mostly don't apply to you, and that's actually good. And do you know, if we keep doing that, those might impact students first to be unaccustomed to listening to English. So if we speak Indonesian most of the time in class, then students won't be accustomed to listening to English. And then if we tend to translate our instructions or maybe our explanations, students will always expect that we will restate what we said in Indonesian. And then the third one, if you let or we let the students speak Indonesian in English class, students will feel not to be obliged to speak English. So they will feel, oh, okay, this teacher will let me speak Indonesian anyway. All right. And then the fourth one, if we don't set a good example, students will think that we don't set a good example of speaking English, and then they will julid us, gibah us, yeah. They will gossip about us to friends or maybe to other teachers or maybe other lecturers. And lastly, if we immediately correct our students when they are speaking English, they will be discouraged to speak English. They will feel, what is it in Indonesian, in Sundanese actually, pundung, yeah. Or maybe they will feel ashamed to speak English, especially in front of us, because they know we will correct them immediately. So how do we make students want to speak English then? This presentation, I'm going to give you the so-called simple ways to build a total English environment in class. Why do I use so-called? Because, yeah, well, these tips are easier said than done, Ibu Bapak, yeah? It's easier to be said than to be done. Okay, so first, there are 4 skills. As we know, there are 4 skills of learning English language, right? The first one, have you got any idea what the first skill to learn English? You can chat in, you can give chat, type in chat. Okay, yes, listening. The 4 skills, the first skill of learning a language is, of course, listening, the receptive one, the basic receptive skill. And then the second one is speaking. This is productive, but it's easier than writing. The third one is reading. And lastly, it's writing. Why does listening come first? The first of 5 stages of learning language is pre-production, Ibu dan Bapak, in which the students is normally silent while listening to new words and gaining an understanding of the language, according to CSI in 2016. So When students want to learn English, they must listen first. Listen, mimic, and try to imitate. Okay, so that's why listening comes first. You know, the students then need to get used to listening to English. They need to be exposed to English statements, to English language. So they need to listen to English first. Before they speak, they need to listen. And then, you know, I like this quote. Padadan like the quote by, I don't know who, I forgot, but I like this quote. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together, by Van Gogh. So, therefore, the smallest thing to have a great result of total English environment starts from you, the teacher. This presentation will focus on you, Ibu Bapa, on us actually, teachers and lecturers. So, how do we do that? How can teachers build a total English environment? First, we can begin with the basics, greetings. Okay, so I'm going to ask Ibu Bapa and you can type on chat, what are the basic greetings you usually give your students and other teachers maybe in your environment in English? Go ahead. I would like to know the basic greetings. How's life there? Okay, good morning. Yes, of course. Hello. Yes. Okay, asking conditions. Yes, how are you? Good morning all. Okay. So apparently Ibu dan Bapak teach in the morning, yeah? Meanwhile, I like teaching in the afternoon. How's it going? Okay. How are you? Okay. How are you going? How are you doing? Okay, sorry. Yes. What's new with you today? Yes, this is very friendly greeting, yeah? Hi, good morning everybody. How are you today? Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, maybe you can say peace to all, yeah, because it's in English. Okay, basic greetings. So apparently, Ibu dan Bapak, you all have got basic greetings that you have applied to your students and your surroundings. So that's good. We need to start from the basics. That is greetings. And if your students also reply the greetings in English, that's good. Next step, we can use, introduce the classroom language. Ibu dan Bapak, maybe Ibu dan Bapak teaches elementary school or maybe junior or high school. I also teach at campus, higher education. I also introduce the classroom language. Can you tell us about what the classroom language you usually use in your class? Go ahead, type on chat. May I use dictionary? Okay. Classroom, yell, yell. Okay. Open your book. Okay. Are you done? I'm done. Excuse me, can you help me please? Come forward. Okay. All right, today we're going to learn. I'm sorry for being late. What about if the student want to ask for your permission to go to the toilet? What do you teach them? Follow me? Okay. Oh, repeat after me perhaps, yeah? Do you understand? Okay. May I go to the toilet? Yeah, I need to wash my hands. Okay. May I go to the restroom? Yes. Good. So you teach your students expressions to go to the toilet. May I wash my hands? May I go to the toilet? But not may I go to the back. Yeah. Because in Indonesian, we say bisa ke belakang. Meanwhile, the toilet is actually in front of the class, right? Okay. I am so sorry I'm late. Excuse me, I need to go to the restroom. Okay, good. Pardon me. Okay. All right. How do you know that after the student answer the question? Okay, good. All right, Ibu dan Bapak, when you introduce the classroom language, you need to use it all the time, every time you are with your students, okay? So let the students get used to listening to the classroom language, and then they will also imitate, they will also follow the classroom language. For example, go to page 500, look at the screen, come forward, please. What do you think about blah, blah, blah? What about your opinion? Something like that. And then the classroom language, don't forget to insert as well thank you and please, because we need to start implementing good culture to our students, okay? And then the third one that we can do is to use simple and easy to understand expressions so that the student will easily remember them. Okay, after we use classroom language, you can actually print out, or maybe you can actually write down the classroom language, or maybe you can write down and then send it to WhatsApp group, or maybe Google Classroom class, the classroom language, so that the students will always remember and will always use the classroom language. After that, you use simple and easy to understand expressions. You know why? Because the simple it is, the more understandable the students, the vocabulary and the expression is, yeah? Okay, use simple and easy to understand expressions. Yes, classroom rules, okay. Oh, stick them on the sofa board in the class. Okay, that's good. Stick them on the sofa board. You have a okay, yes, that's good. I don't have a sofa in class, so I can just simply send to WhatsApp group. All right, the next step that we, the teachers and lecturers, can do is speak first, think about grammar later. Why? Because when we think about grammar all the time, we won't be able to speak, because we tend to think whether which tense I should use, and then if I use this, do I sound polite? Just start speaking first, okay? Think about the grammar later, and then correct the students' grammar also in the end, not when they are speaking. Okay, so these are the things that we can do as teachers to build a total English environment. Sounds easy, right? But believe me, it's hard. And then I've tried using English all the time, but my students still won't speak English. Who feel this as well? Ibu dan Bapak, you use English all the time, but still, yeah, still my students won't speak English. Yes, that happens to my class as well, you know, to some of my classes actually. So what can we do? Lack of vocab, okay. Because yeah, the student will give an excuse that they lack vocab. That's why we need to use simple and easy to understand expressions, yeah? Okay. All right. So what should we do when the students still won't speak English despite our English usage all the time in classroom? Okay, use imitating techniques. Introduce the vocab first. Good, Ibu Dwi. Okay, try information gap activity. Okay, prepare the vocab before studying. Okay, using body language. Yes, it's easy to teach new language to young learner instead of, yes, indeed, actually. especially to college students, it's harder actually. Okay, so choose interesting topic which is familiar to them. Okay, build background knowledge of the topic. Good. Use song. Yes, of course. Okay, so I've got some tips on how to make students want to speak English. The first one, when they still won't speak English, we need to keep responding to our students in English. So even though they speak Sundanese, they speak Japanese, they speak Indonesian, still we need to use English. So they will feel embarrassed, they will feel shy, and then they will force themselves to speak English, okay? Or if you can't do number one, you can stop responding them unless they use English. So you can tell them, sorry, I'm not going to answer unless you talk in English. You can tell them that. Or maybe you can just put the side eye, you know, the side eye expression, English please, like that. And then the third way of encouraging students to speak English is to guide them to use English by giving them hints. For example, when the student tells about his activity on Sunday, and he tells you in Indonesian, for example, hari Minggu on Monday, yes, saya mencuci mobil. Oh, okay, you washed your car, and then the student will imitate you. Yes, on Sunday, I washed my car. Okay, after that, after you guide them, after you giving them hints, you can ask them to repeat that without being given hints. Okay, like okay, can you repeat that what I just gave you? Can you repeat that? Can you retell what you did on Sunday? And then he will speak English about what he did on Sunday. Guide them to use English by giving them hints. And then next, write down. This is actually similar to what Ibu Dwi, I believe. Ibu Dwi said, write down common words and specific terms about that day's topic. For example, if today we're talking about cooking, we can brainstorm them about the vocabulary or the words that we use in cooking. For example, I'm going to brainstorm you, Ibu Bapak. What are the words that we usually use when we cook? Come on, in chat column. Chop, slice, dice, and then stir, mix, stove, recipe, mash, grate. See, I learned a lot of vocabulary from you. Ingredients, wash, sprinkle, yes, vegetable, okay, pour, taste, shake, delicious, stew, yeah, saute, right? Tumis is saute, right? And then fry, grill, soak, crush. See, there are a lot of words that you can get from brainstorming students. You write down the words on the board or maybe on the screen so that when the students forgot what they will say, they will refer to the words on the screen or on the board, right? Okay, and then, but Ibu Bapak, when all else fails, this is actually what I did several years back, use punishment and reward. Have you thought about what punishment and reward you're going to give your students when they won't speak English? What kind of punishment and reward do you think we can use our students if they don't want to speak English? Anyone knows? Never gave punishment, Ibu Dina, you're too kind. Daily points, see? Rewards points. Okay, English day for them. Yes, of course. Points, yes. Points is the easiest one. Saying good job. Okay, stars. Yes, we can use stars. No reward yet punishment. That's evil. Okay, but that's good actually. Education punishment like mentioning vocabulary. Yes. Dance in front of the class. Okay. But if the student is a dancer, they will use Indonesian like all the time just to dance in front of the class. Yeah. Tax. Okay. Yeah, actually, that's what I did. So this is an example of what I did several years back, Ibu Bapak. So I asked the students to bring as many candies as they can for the next meeting. After that, on the day, I instructed students to speak only English. And if they speak one non-English word or expressions, for example, aduh, for example, they have to pay with one candy. Students who speaks non-English the least or not at all will win all the candies the other students paid. And welcome diabetes. Okay, so this is actually from my experience, Ibu dan Bapak, the things I did, the things I've done to make my students speak English in the class. So maybe it can be applied in your class as well, or maybe you've got your better ways or you've got your own strategies. Please do share in the chat columns, yeah, Ibu Bapak, yeah. I hope this will enlighten you about how to create total English environment in your class, Ibu Bapak, because 9/10 of education is encouragement. Never stop encouraging our students to speak English. And this is actually what we do. This is our doing. We are the agent of change, Ibu Bapak. That's it of my presentation. I hope you will get enlightened by my presentation, and let's share in the chat column after this. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thanks for paying attention. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much for, yeah, amazing as usual. Followed some seminar that you brought. This one is really amazing. As a teacher, so I think I highlight very important part that we may take or absorbed from the stop. First is customized a lot of things, right? And then second is simplicity is very important. And the third one, as a teacher, as important role models. for our students. And the last one is don't be afraid to got a diabetic behaviors using candies. No, that one is joking. But anyway, yeah, I think that's worked in some cases that chocolates, candies, it works better than sometimes stars, points, Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
500 rupiahs will also help you. 500 and
500 rupees.
1,000, yeah? For class
Amazing.
money, right?
Amazing, amazing. So there was a new things, maybe new thing for some of us. Maybe part of things is one of our common or usual activity that we do. So can wait to have another or further discussions in the Q&A sessions. Ibu Yuli, thank you very much again. Maybe some of you may give a reactions on your screen and also give an appreciation in our chat room. Bapak Ibu. So well done. Before we continue to our third presenters, I would like to what is it? I would like to take a photo shoot together. Is it? So we're gonna have a photo, and after that, there was another video that will be provided by UTC TBI. So who's gonna take the photo? I think from Class Collective, we're ready to take the photo. So yeah, so cold. All right. So on my count, what are done?
Yes, Bapak Ibu, would
Okay.
you please turn on the camera and then give us your biggest smile, sincere smile, of course. And then Patris, I'm going to take photos. And Bapak Ibu, can you help us taking the photos as well? And later you can share the photos in our English club group, yeah, because I cannot take like 9 slides here. Okay, Bapak Ibu, smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait a second. Okay, from the committee, can you help me taking another photos? I'm taking photos for slide 2. Smile. Slide 3. I think Patrice, you can keep going with the next agenda, yeah, while I'm taking photos.
Okay. So there's a lot of models that we have in this screen. So then everybody ready to take a pictures, then start turning on the camera. So the next is the video from the UTC TBI. Right? So I think we're ready to watch the video from the UTC.
Okay.
The British Institute was founded in 1984, and we've helped thousands of people develop their English language skills. Using communicative, student-centered, and task-based approach, our academic team ensures that our delivery methods are up to date. Our public class students undergo a variety of courses such as very young learners, pre-teenagers, teenagers, general English, business communication, conversation, writing, and many more. Naturally, the lessons are accompanied with various fun activities. In the last few years, English has become essential for business. Our corporate training is here to provide the necessary English language coaching for companies or institutions that want to increase their competitive value. The demand to pursue a degree abroad increases year by year. Our exam preparation class will help you achieve your desired score and teach you strategies to face your chosen international exam. As the only authorized CELTA center in Indonesia, TBI is an extension of the University of Cambridge English. CELTA is the world's leading teacher training qualification. We also provide teacher training programs for teachers or for those who wish to teach. Established more than 35 years ago and has branches in many major cities in Indonesia. Recognized by the University of Cambridge English as the only CELTA center in Indonesia. Our teachers have international certifications and are experienced. Follows international standards of teaching and assessment methods. Has taught more than 50,000 people and in more than 1,000 companies. We've helped them compete in the marketplace. When's your turn?
Okay, so that was the video. It was very interesting, right? So everybody now really understand and really familiar with the TBI and the UTC TBI, right? So I've been working pretty much long, yeah, to serve many people who needs an English services. So as another presenter, we're gonna have our third speakers, and of course, this third speaker are coming from the TBI, right? For the third presenters, we have Ibu Oku. Is that right? Hello, Ibu Oku.
Hello.
How's life, Bu?
Life is great, alhamdulillah. Always good.
Alhamdulillah. It's amazing. It's finally nice to see you. So before we started the talk, and of course it's going to be a very amazing talk, I would like to read a very brief informations about Bu Oke Octaviani. All right, graduated from Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia and earning her international teaching qualification from Cambridge Assessment English, a part of Cambridge University. She has an extensive experiences in teaching English and training teachers in varied contexts. Amazing. Celta is hard. All right, so she was one of the TBI's academic team leaders before pursuing her career into becoming a TBI school manager. Due to her love for teaching, a true teacher, she has crossed the path and has since then been focusing on teacher training. So this very suitable with the ideas of class creative, learn together, say together, growth together as a teacher trainers. So can wait to have a fruitful talk with you, Walker. So I handed you over the microphone.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Bapak Ibu. How are you doing?
Great.
Good. Nice. Okay. So yeah. So earlier, Ibu Yulianti has presented some ideas about how to develop an English speaking culture. So let me share my screen. Okay. So it's going to be a bit similar to what she has presented, but I'm just going to start by showing you a picture that I stole from the internet. It's for public, so all good. All right, can you all see my screen? Yeah. Please disregard
Definitely.
the fact that it comes from HBO, and then this is taken from a drama series which is entitled Lovecraft Country. Never mind that. But anyways, now let's look at this picture, ladies and gentlemen, and try to imagine if we were living among aliens. Yeah. Now here we are sitting in front of them with three of them walking towards us, seemingly wanting to have a communication with us. Here's the problem. None of us actually speak alienistic language, right? So we're panicking. That's pretty much it. So, but then we live among them, therefore we need to communicate with them. So that leaves us with two options that will enable us to communicate with them. One is to learn their language, or if we can be bothered to do that, then to just go ahead and use sign language. Okay? The problem with the latter is that sign language can only work for some time, right? So that leaves us with learning their language. Now, let's think about our situation, okay? So we live in a foreign land where nobody speaks our language, and our only option is to learn their language. Yeah. What we need, the first thing that we need to enable us to learn the language is, of course, to have some sort of input, right? Yeah. This input can be in the form of us listening to sounds from the language. That's one thing. Remember that when we are unfamiliar with a language, what they say arrives in our mind as just sounds, meaningless sounds, right? But then there is an input in a way. Another input would be written input, like symbols. So that is the first thing that we need. We need some sort of input. Now, I would like to relate this to the theory by Christian, if I'm mistaken, when it comes to theory of acquisition. Think about how our children as babies acquire our language. To start with, let's say I'm from Bandung, so I speak Sundanese, right? Let's say to begin with, toddlers, they don't speak Sundanese, they don't speak English, they don't speak Indonesian, right? But what we do is we give them input day in and day out. Input using our language in writing, in something that they can hear, and so on and so forth. We just bombard them with input day in and day out. That is the first thing that we need to learn a language. Let's say we've got the input. The next thing that we need is something that will give us a sort of support system, right? Because we've got the input, but then unless we have the support, the right type of support, then there is no way we can actually implement what we have learned. So the second thing that we need is support. Now, let's leave that alien land and let's go back to our role as a teacher. Okay, so now we are focusing on how to build an English-speaking culture in our class. I've mentioned that the two things that we need are input and support. Now let's break it down, okay, to make it more realistic. We are teachers, then the input that we can provide our students with would be our lessons. It's going to sound like, okay, but then this is like chicken and chicken egg. Like which one goes first, right? Because as teachers, we want our students to use English in class. But then at the same time, we are, I would say like 75% chance are the source for their input. But like it or not, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Okay, so imagine that you have a group of students who have zero knowledge of English walking into your class. You are in charge of a beginner level student. Your job is to get them to use English, knowing for a fact that they have no idea of how to do it whatsoever. So, as teachers, you need to make sure that you deliver an effective lesson. Your lessons are effective. That's why it is very good. We're lucky to belong to Class Creative, right? Because we have ongoing professional development. One of which would be how to deliver effective lessons. Now I'm going to briefly recap on what makes a good lesson. Okay, what makes an effective lesson? First, you have to make sure that when you deliver your lesson, you are clear of what you want to achieve. Okay, so when you are thinking about your lesson, you need to think about, okay, by the time when my students are walking out of my classroom, what learning outcome, what will the learning outcomes be? You need to be clear of that. Okay, and also you need to choose, when you are delivering your lesson, you need to choose a context that is relevant to them. On top of being relevant, the context should also be interesting to your students. Now this plays a major role in motivation. Okay, so again, first, the lesson aim, you have to know what you want to achieve. Number two, you have to choose a context that is relevant and interesting to your students. And then throughout the lesson, I'm going to repeat myself. I think I've been saying this over and over again, in the previous webinars, you have to make sure that your lesson is student-centered. Remember, you are a teacher, which means in class during your lessons, it is your students who have to speak more. You just stay quiet, listen to them, take notes, give feedback. That's what you need to do, okay? Because your learning time is just like, back in the days, all right? So now your job is to just provide input to your students. And then once all of that are accomplished, then, as I said earlier, you need to provide feedback, because unless you give them feedback, then your students will be kept in the dark. They don't know whether they're doing it right. They don't know whether they still need to work on some areas of their English. Okay, so that is the first input. Again, egg and chicken egg, but that is what we are dealing with. That is reality. Okay, next one. Incidental language. Earlier, Ibu Yuli mentioned some, and I think you guys also mentioned about, putting up signs in the classroom and this and that, right? So that would functions as incidental language as well. Now, let me go back to the lesson. So when during your lesson, as I said earlier, you want the lesson to be student-centered, right? From time to time during your lesson, you will interact with your students as well. You will also show your students some materials like in written or some videos. From those materials and from those interactions, I'm pretty sure there is at least 50% chance that there will be incidental language. Incidental language means like, for example, your lesson aim is to teach them a grammar point, let's say on present perfect simple, for example. And the context is about traveling somewhere by plane, for example. And then maybe you will have a word like velocity, for example, even though that is not the aim of the lesson, but then a word like velocity, for example, can serve as an incidental language. When that happens, what you want to encourage your students to do is to take notes of it. Incidental languages are very important, and they're like candies, just like what Ibu Yuli said earlier, right? Like rewards. So do that. What I normally recommend teachers to do is you need to think about your board work. When you plan your lesson, you should also think about how you would write on your whiteboard. Okay, so I would normally spend like leave a small area of the whiteboard for incidental language, and then we can revisit that at the end of the lesson. That's very important. Okay, incidental language is very nice input because it's very beneficial, because students will get that in context, which will make it very meaningful, and hopefully it will retain they will retain the word and phrases longer. Next one, signs. As mentioned earlier, signs like classroom language displayed on board. Somebody earlier said about something about putting signs on soft board. So yeah, that will do it as well. So having signs around the classroom will provide your students with more input. Okay, we hope that formally you want to provide this type of input by means of, as I said earlier, having classroom languages displayed on boards, hoping that when your students are looking around the classroom, they will actually capture the language like photographic memory. Okay. Another thing that you can do is have students label the items in the classroom. That can help as well. A lot of you actually asked about what am I going to do with my students, because I want them to speak, but then they don't have enough language, right? The vocabulary is not enough. So what you can do is you can just do that, involve your students and spend like 10 minutes or so, in every lesson to actually label things around the classroom. Okay, try to do that. So these are some of the input that you can provide your students with. Now let's talk about the support. Okay, so I saw some of the questions talking about having shy students in class. Yeah. Yes, and I totally agree with that. Some students are really shy to use English. So the first thing that you can provide your students with will be safe environment. Okay, so you want your students to be comfortable making mistakes. When somebody makes mistake, what you want to do is you want to, rather than correct them on the spot, for example, depending on the focus here though. But then let's say we're talking about fluency. We want our students to just use English, right? When somebody makes mistake, in order for us to make sure that they feel safe to make mistakes, then we can just simply reformulate their utterance and then move on with the conversation. When you reformulate something, then it will not be too obvious and it will not be intimidating to your students. So for example, you ask your students, hey, for example, Tris, how was your weekend? What did you do? And then he says something along the line of, oh, I go to the mall yesterday, right? There is something wrong there, right? I go to the mall yesterday. Then as a teacher, we have this innate urge to, oh my God, that's wrong. You don't say go, you say went, right? But rather than saying that, because we want to make sure that it's okay to make a mistake, but then let's think about what we can learn from it. So you can say something like, oh, you mean you, oh, okay, wow, that is really cool. So you went to the mall yesterday, you know, something like that, yeah? So make sure that you provide your students with a safe environment. The next one is, as I said earlier, you want to give them feedback. So reformulation or recasting can actually function as feedback as well. Okay, it tells your students what they need to fix. Okay, your responses to your students are actually a type of feedback as well. Okay, so try doing that. The last but not least is you need to provide your students with stimulus. Now, this stimulus, however, need to be at their level. Because let's say when you are talking with a beginner level student, but then you use words like, for example, if you don't mind, or you know, deem, something like that, you know, words that are higher at a higher level than their actual level, that would be demotivating. So you need to provide them with stimulus that is at their level. Okay, now, and then you want to make sure that it is relevant to them. So you want to give them a real reason to use English. Rewards and punishment, yes, as Miss Yuli said, that would be our last resort. Okay, but what we want to develop, what we want to nurture is the intrinsic motivation to start with. Okay, so always make sure that we aim at developing this intrinsic motivation in our students rather than an extrinsic, because intrinsic motivation, they last longer. Okay, now in regards to the stimulus, I want to give you an example. This is the digital age, right? And how many hours do you think your students spend on their gadget a day? Like 8 hours, more than that, right? How long do you spend on your gadget every day? Hours. Yeah. Okay. So
Similar as they do, I think.
I know, right? So what I would like you guys to do is actually to get your students to use their gadget to practice their English. They've got access to the internet 24/7. So what you can do is, again, you want to give them this intrinsic motivation. Okay? You want to make things relevant to them. You want to make it meaningful to them. Okay? So what you can do is, there are a lot of sites that allows you access to pen friends. Let me see if I can give it to you. So the name of the site is mylanguageexchange.com. That's the name of the site. So when you go to that site, you just sign up and then you can actually get yourself a pen friend. We are teachers, so what we can do is we can just log on and then just tell them that we have a group of students, and then basically the response would be them providing us with a list of classes where we can work with the teacher, and then we can basically hook our students up so that they can exchange emails from time to time. I've tried doing that and it worked really well. My students actually became very motivated, and then they actually picked up a lot of language from their pen friends. These pen friends back then came from the Middle East. So those students, they were still studying English as well, but then when this interaction was taking place, they were actually practicing their English in a very much meaningful context. Okay, and I think some of them continues to be friends even until today. Now, another idea where you can provide stimulus to your student would be this. Bapak Ibu, let's think about activities that you can do to allow you to use English more. Can you guys think about it? Do you actually set your cell phone in English? The language, is it in English? Okay, all right. Now let's think about other activities that you can do in order to help you use English more, to basically force you to use English more. The idea is this. You want your students to try to challenge themselves, okay? This idea was taken from a teacher and was inspired from a TED Talk. If I'm mistaken, the name of the talk was being different in 30 days. So let me show you how to do it. Sorry. Okay. So the title, I would say, try something new for 7 days. Okay. So what you can do is in your class, you get your students to think about, to brainstorm activities that they can do that will allow them to use English more. For example, here, set my phone to English. And then, setting my phone there doesn't require a lot of time, so 0 hour. And then they will have to decide whether it's completed or not. And then read an article in English. Now think about how long do you think you can spend reading an article in English in a week. So the idea is that your students will challenge themselves by doing something that is realistic and easily to achieve, okay? And then after 7 days, they will come back to class, and then they will update their friends and you in regards to their accomplishment. Okay, so give it a try. This is something that I've tried as well, and the result was that the students were more encouraged to use English. But yes, it does have some level of commitment, so you really need to encourage your students to do this. Okay, so in short, to build an English speaking culture class, you need to provide your students with input and support. But the input and support should be meaningful and relevant. When this has been achieved, then the outcome would be intrinsic motivation. Okay? Remember that intrinsic motivation lasts longer, yeah? So you want to nurture this. When everyone has got this intrinsic motivation, when the intrinsic motivation has turned communal, then it will end up with an English speaking culture, because everyone will be intrinsically motivated to use English in class. And then when it has been built, then you will come across ideas and areas that you feel that your students have become stronger in, and also areas that they still need to work on. And that will take you to the next one, which is input and support. And then the cycle repeats itself. So again, what we are trying to do here is to build a culture. So of course, this is the cycle. And because you are the teacher, then you have to think about how you can provide meaningful and relevant input, and also continuously provide them with meaningful and relevant support. And that would be all from me. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Pak Tris. Thank you, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Another amazing talk from Ibu Oke. Bapak Ibu, another applause for Ibu Oke with your reactions in the Zoom. Thank you very much, Ibu Oke. I highlight several points that input is important, but not only there, we also need to support them, provide a possible environments for them to produce the input that we made, right? And also please give as much as trigger as possible, so then our trigger can do a lot, right? Stimuli is also very important. Make stimulus means make a way for them to produce more. And of course, another thing that's very important, it's be student-centered teachers, because in teaching it's not about us, it's about them as our students. That way, right, Ibu Oke? Thank you very much. I think we have three amazing speakers we have now here, and I see there's a lot of questions in the Padlets. So maybe we can have some of them, right? So for the Q&A, and remember that if you want to, get, sorry, I mean, later on at the end of the Zoom, there will be a door prize, right? Is it in Bahasa Indonesia? Hadiah pintu ya. Jadi Pak Dada nanti ngedain pintu ya for all of us. No, I'm joking. So there will be some prizes that provided from UTC, TBI, and also Kelas Kreatif. All right. So, and also don't forget that everybody here got 3 benefits from the TBI. If you want to take the TOEFL and some other product or some other, services that TBI has. All right. Some questions from many people here. I'm sorry if I'm not being able to, give all the questions to 3 presenters. I will choose one of them. So first is this very interesting questions from Generation Z students. I don't know who is it, but he put out the name is Generation Z students. The questions will be, how do you teach the Generasi Z students? They like to be challenged sometimes. So how we as a teachers give the thirst of being challenged as the Z generations. So maybe I can go. Let's take Bu Oke, take a deep breath a little bit. So
Okay.
I'm going to moving on to Ibu Yuli and then go to Ibu Oke. Is that okay?
Sure, yes.
Sure. So Ibu Yuli go first. So then how to pay their thirst in being challenged as Z generations.
Okay, Pak Tris. So how do you teach Gen Z student about
Yes.
English? Yeah, they like to be challenged
Sure.
sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, challenge them.
Very interesting.
I mean, Generation Z
Obvious.
students like to actualize themselves on social media. So why not asking them to make project-based learning using social media? For example, they
Interesting.
must have TikToks, right? So we can make side-by-side videos like the one with the presenter, and then they read their parts. We can use that. And we can also now on Instagram, we have this reel that we can combine, join the reels. We can use, you don't have to use like, the platform where we can have students' videos, Flipgrid, Flipgrid.
Yeah, Flipgrid, yes.
Yeah. So Flipgrid, it can only be watched by the teachers and the classmates, but in social media, especially Instagram, they like to actualize themselves and they like to be watched by public. So you can actually create side-by-side video for them to join about English, for example, and then they can, plus they can also promote the school, by using
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
Yeah, you can do that actually. Challenge them using social media.
Yes.
And then I also asked several of my students to collaborate with me in my podcast, and they like it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
yeah, basically they like to be invited to get involved in our projects.
Interesting and very interesting.
Uh-huh.
So in social media, they learned and virals in the same times, right? So that
Mhm.
was the good things to achieve, yeah. So thank you very much, Ibu Yuli. So the point, if they want to be challenged, then challenge them, right, with a various way and use our creativity. Ibu Oke.
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Hi. Generation Z, right?
Yes.
So let me make sure I understand. So Generation Z, they're like basically our first digital natives, right?
Yeah,
They're
like us. Oh no, just like our students. Like our
sure.
students, they are really familiar with
I'm definitely
gadget.
not. I'm definitely not a Z. No way. Way
Really,
past that. No
really,
way.
really. Okay.
Yeah. So, so yeah. See, the thing that is interesting. So millennial, basically, right?
Yeah, the millennials.
Okay.
Yeah, we can say the
Millennials are
millennials.
us, Bu. Millennials are
Yeah,
us.
millennials are us. Well,
Yes,
well.
Gen Z was born after 1996, so there are
Oh, yeah.
23,000
Then
students.
that's definitely not us, right?
Yes,
Oh my God.
Oh
I
my
never
goodness.
watched it. Okay.
we were
So,
born in the 1900s actually.
all right. So, well, they ask questions, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say when we tell them something, they would ask like, "What do you base that on?" Like,
Mhm.
why?
Yeah.
Don't give me false information that is baseless. Like they want
Mhm.
to know everything, and they want to make
Mhm.
sure that everything is relevant to them. If they don't
Mhm.
find it relevant to them, I'm like, I'm just gonna skip them. I'm not gonna do it. Why? Like there's no reason for me to learn English if I'm not gonna need it to for my livelihood. So don't tell me to use English unless I need it.
Mhm.
Pretty much it.
It is.
So earlier, I mentioned something about providing them with stimulus, right? And
Mhm.
one of them is to actually hook them up,
Mhm.
um, relate them with the outside world. Remember,
Oh, yes.
these, children, this generation, right, Generation Z, they're all about global stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
They want to
Mhm.
be a part of the global world.
Mhm.
So have a look at the website that I mentioned. My let me look at my cheat note. My
My language access, is it?
my
With
language
access, is it?
my language exchange.com. Yeah,
Exchange.com. Okay.
it's free.
Great.
Um
Nice.
yeah, and they can actually, back in the days, I
Mhm.
also had pen friends
Mhm.
everywhere. And that
Mhm.
is how I learned a lot of my English from.
Mhm.
I was actually conversing, well, interacting with my pen friends back in the day.
Yes.
I was 12
Uh-huh.
years old, and that was a long time ago.
Mhm.
Um, I remember one time I
Mhm.
was writing to my Australian pen friend,
Mhm.
and then she had asked me for my photo, photo,
Uh-huh.
right, back in the day. And then, and then I was introducing myself to her, and I said, "Hello,
Mhm.
AJ." Her name is AJ, Amber Jane.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was telling her, "Hey, my name is Oka from Indonesia, and then I'm 20 years old."
Back
And then
then, right?
I sent her my picture along with my letter that stated that
Mhm.
I was 20 years old.
Okay.
And then back then it only took her like a week after that I got a response to her, and I read her letter, and then she said, "Hey Oka, thank you for the picture. Very nice picture. But I don't think you're 20 years old. I think you're 12 years old, right? Because you don't look 20 years old." And trust me, Bapak Ibu, from since then, I never miss I never mispronounce. I never mistakenly use I never confused
Uh-huh.
with 20.
20.
That
Okay.
stayed until today, so many
Mhm.
years after. So what I'm trying to tell you is that, again, with this generation, they
Mhm.
need a real reason to do things,
Mhm.
learning a
Yes.
language included. So give
Mhm.
them a real reason. Okay?
Mhm.
So provide a stimulus that is
Mhm.
relevant and meaningful. And
Yes.
then get them to go global, and then hook them up with other students from overseas. And
Yes, very interesting.
right, so try doing that. Thank you.
Very interesting. So bring them through their world. Yeah. Stop talking about tersanjung. Start talking about layangan putus. Then, all right. So because it's really them now, right? So by telling tersanjung, I think I mentioned my age then. All right. So thank you very much. That was very interesting. All right. They're very interesting answers. Well, there was some of questions are barely almost similar. How to build an environment, English environment in our class when the biggest issue in the classroom is psychological things. They embarrassed, they shy, they less confident, and some sort of psychological things that will block our students to say English in the classrooms. So let's back again to Ibu Yuli.
About the shy students.
Yeah, the shy, embarrassed, scared, something like that.
Okay, maybe they are scared because they are scared of performing in front of a lot of people. So break them down into small groups
Interesting.
or pairs. Actually, they can choose their own partners that they are comfortable with. Then we can be even more intimate with them when they
Uh-huh.
are practicing their English.
Very interesting. So
And
make
when
them
we do it
comfortable, yeah?
online, when we do it online, we can use Zoom and breakout rooms for them to
Mm,
practice, and then we can simply come to the breakout rooms to
to see.
supervise them and then to give them some advice as they have difficulties.
Very interesting. So make them comfortable first, yeah? So
Yes.
then that psychological things will just get off.
Mhm.
All right. So Walker, another point of view on that.
My answer will be similar actually. So yeah, so
Sure.
I grew up as a shy person.
Oh, really?
Oh God,
I
yeah.
find it hard to believe actually.
I
Oh,
know,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Now when I think,
That's why
I
I'm
was
saying,
shocked.
oh, really?
Really, even when so basically, if I oh God, like in class, I would be like just really aloof, like I don't
Oh,
teacher, don't
wow.
look at me, don't look at me, no eye contact, don't ask me any questions.
I'm invisible. I'm invisible.
I was really shy. I was really shy. So reflecting on my own experience as a super shy student, I basically cracked the shell, my shell, when just like what Ibu Yuli said, when I had become more comfortable with my class, with
Mm-hmm.
the teacher. So my teacher back then was able
Mm-hmm.
to give me this reassurance that if I make a mistake, nobody's gonna kill you.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
nobody's gonna laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then now that I think about it, now I followed her footsteps, right, becoming a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She must have done something really great
Mm-hmm.
really successfully created this culture where
Mm-hmm.
students do not ridicule each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I
Right.
think it has to come from the teacher first,
Agreed.
right? And then when you notice that there are some students in your class who tend to ridicule students, you just want to
Yes.
grab them and then excuse
Mm-hmm.
me, come and talk to me. I need to say
Mm-hmm.
something with. I need to talk about something with you, and then
Mm-hmm.
just, give them the understanding that this is what we want to achieve. We want to create
Yes.
a safe environment, and you are also a part of this family. So think about your friends as your brother and sisters. That
Mm-hmm.
one is shy. Support her or him. Support
Yes.
her back then, and it did. It worked. It worked. Like
It is. It is.
it is.
Sure.
So yes, Ibu Yuli, make sure that you create that environment
Mm-hmm.
and have this turn your class into a solid group
That's. I
where they
understand. Yeah.
actually a working team.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, the point is comfortable. Yeah, make them very comfortable. And I think, if I may a bit comment on this, sometimes our students is overconfident. They will comment us, but in fact they don't even think about it. Right? They just overthinking that. No, I'm afraid will comment me bad or something. Well, they're sometimes very much overthinking about their commenting. So I think I believe there's a lot of questions here that wish to be answered, but unfortunately we have a very limited time. I think we're gonna directly jump up to the most important. Another most important part is the door prize time. Yeah, hadiah pintu time. All right, so a door prize time. All right, so there will be two uh, prizes for two participants. So I think I will leave it to one to Ibu Yuli and then one to Ibu Oka. And then anyone who got the prizes, please confirm yourself. If you're in the group of Kaka, please do contact us so then we can share to you the prize. All right, who's gonna go first? Is Ibu Oka or Ibu Yuli gonna go first? Ibu Yuli katanya. All right, Ibu Yuli. Okay.
Okay, hang on. I read some of the questions that we
Uh-huh.
haven't answered, and
Yes.
there are actually interesting questions.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. I think it's from
Elementary students, is
teachers.
that?
Hang on. There are lots of questions the last
It
time I
is. It
visited the
is.
web
It is.
actually. Hang on. Someone who is from remote area.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
So we'll see.
let's see.
Is it from where is the girl included remote area?
It's easier. The question said that it's easier to teach in international English schools, but from
Uh-huh.
remote area, what can we do? I read that, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. But
I'm
this one,
scrolling down there.
Karawang.
Ah, I
Pak
see.
from Seman Satu Ciampel, Karawang. Talking
Okay.
about how to improve student speaking skill is not as easy
There
as
you
we
go.
always
Yeah.
think so far. Indeed, Pak,
It
that's
is.
why I told you so cold, right? Maybe for those who teach English in an international school, it could be a piece of cake. Teaching
It is.
speaking to students, let us say teaching students in a remote area, we don't have any motivation that English is so important, is far
It is.
more difficult. The
It
question
is.
is, what can we do to drive such students to dare to speak English, meanwhile their lack of mastering vocabulary?
Yes.
Yes, that's actually a good question, especially from remote areas. That's the biggest problem in Indonesia, actually.
is.
How we motivate students from remote area to be aware that English is actually important.
Mhm.
So we can start from introducing students about
Mhm.
their daily things surrounding them, and we can
Okay.
ask them using English.
Uh-huh.
And actually, even though it's from remote area, I believe that technology has come to
There,
the
yeah.
areas, right? So we can record them and make vlog about them, introducing like things from their places in English.
Mhm.
Promote their areas. We can do that actually, but and we can guide them by giving hints, like I told you before, giving hints. For example, oh, this one is bow and arrow. You can say bow and arrow. How to shoot an arrow? You draw the bow and then you shoot the arrow, something like that. And then
Uh-huh.
you record students' videos about when they are demonstrating, demonstrating their culture from the
Mhm.
remote area. So we can do that, Pak. And I believe
Very interesting.
that's actually an interesting question. So
Yes.
yeah, okay. So Pak,
So Parudi will be got the first prize.
congratulations. I believe you've got your
Congratulations.
prize, Pak.
Congratulations,
Saya
Pak.
ini ya, Pak. Oke.
Already. All right, that was very interesting. Yeah, remote area, it's always been an issue in our educations. Yeah, especially in this current technology, online learning, then it's become even more tense. So then the teachers should be even more creative and think, think not just think twice, think third time, four times, and so on and so forth to see what is the best suit for our students.
We even
All
need to
right,
meditate, Pak Tris.
it
We
is. It is.
meditate a week before
Yes,
we teach the students in remote areas.
exactly. That's
And
very
by
important.
remote area, it doesn't mean that we live so far away from Java, but
It
apparently
is.
in my place in Kopo as well, there are remote areas in Kopo.
Ah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I
Remote
do
areas
understand that.
here
Yes.
means we it is difficult to gain access.
Yes.
So it's not
Remote,
always from
yeah,
outside Java.
doesn't always like out of 100 kilometers from the city or something like that,
Yes.
right? It's something sometime happen around us as well. All right, thank you very much, Pak Rudi from SMA N1 Ciampel Karawang. Congratulations, got the first prize from Kelas Kreatif UTC and of course the TBI. Well, Ibu Oke, you have to select one another participants to get the second prize.
Okay, based on their question.
Maybe you will do some sort of very quick or short challenge or something. Just
Okay.
up to you.
So I ask them question, right?
Yeah,
I
sure.
like asking people questions. Okay.
A teacher, really teacher.
Yeah, by innate urges. Okay. So can I ask them something from my presentation earlier?
Of course, as long as not calculus.
No, I did not do that. So earlier I mentioned the two things that our students, well, people.
Wait, Buko. I think we have to set those who answer who first raise hand first. Is that okay?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Then please, Bu Istri, Pak Dadan, and others help me to check
I'm going
who's
to
the
raise
first.
hand, Pak.
No. No. Okay, Walker, you can start
All
giving
right.
us the questions.
So earlier I mentioned that there are two things that as teacher we need to provide our students with in order to help them acquire language in our effort to build an
Ooh.
English speaking culture. So what are they?
What are they? I believe it's supposed to be Pak Eros got first. Am I right, everybody?
Yeah.
It's Ibu,
Yes.
Pak.
Oh, Ibu, I'm sorry. I'm
Eros
sorry.
Lia
I'm sorry.
Nurlaini, right?
Sorry. I just read the I just read the Eros one. All right. So Ibu, go ahead, Ibu. Eros Lia Nurlaini. Sorry, I'm using phones. Go ahead, Ibu. You yeah.
It's input and support.
Yay! The second door prize go to Ibu. I think it's not Ibu, it's Teteh Eros Lia Nurlaini. Is that right? Mbak, ya? Is it Teteh or Mbak? Where from?
Ibu.
Ibu from?
From 3 children.
Oh, Ibu from a mother of 3 children. Yeah, a mother of 3 children. Seriously, I think same with Bu Oke cases, yeah? 20 like 12. Yeah, it's like 3 mothers, like really, wow, it's so amazing. Congratulations, Ibu Eros. Don't forget to confirm your present and to our team in Kelas Kreatif Indonesia. So I think that will be the end of our meeting, right? So so happy. We have 3 amazing speakers here. We have Pak Dadan, we have Ibu Yuli, we have Ibu Oke. Applause for all of them. They were very, very amazing presentations. Then, if I can sum up all the things is, as a teachers, not only okay. 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 So I think what I have underlined here as a teachers, we have to think about not thinking about how we teach, but think about how our students learned. Make them comfortable. We'll make them believe they're able to do something. So thank you very much, everybody, for the amazing participations. Thank you very much for the amazing time that you invest for us here. It's such a pleasure to meet everybody here, even in online meeting. So to sum up all the things, I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you in another Kelas Kreatif event. Bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bu Yuli. Thank you, Bu
Thank
Oke.
you, Bu
Thank you, Bu
Thank you,
Yuli. Thank you,
Patrice,
Bu
Bu
Oke.
Isri.
Thank you so much. Thank
Pak Dadan,
you.
Bu Yanti,
Thank you, everybody.
Pak
You
Dadan.
may enjoy your meal
Thank you,
now.
Pak Dadan and
Yeah, you may
team.
enjoy
Thank you
your
very
meal now.
much.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you, Miss
welcome.
Oke, Miss Yuli. Padaran,
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank you, Bu Oke. Thank you, Patrice.
Thank you, Bu Oke. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrice. Thank you, Bu Oke.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you, Bu Yuli. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your lunch.
Is it
Bu
lunch
Yanti,
time?
mangga Bu Yanti ditambi.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, somewhere. Oke, akhirnya. Dan ini pas saya selesai berhenti hujan dan I'm ready to go home then.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
DJ Pak.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mr. and Miss.
thank you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum.
So,
Waalaikumsalam
okay.
warahmatullahi. Thank you, Bu Oke. Patrice, safe trip ya. Going back. Are you going back to Bandung?